Worth your support.
Thank you for making WPBF 25 News at 5 number 1.
Rozier going to take a shot, and it is caught into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami!
Intercepted. Look out! Break out the chain again. Rozier again lobbing far side of the end zone. Barrios, touchdown, Miami!
Play action. Rozier downfield, touchdown, Canes!
The countdown to kickoff is officially on. Here is Charlotte, North Carolina tonight. The Miami Hurricanes will try to win their first ACC championship in school history, which would vault them into the college football playoff for a shot at the national championship. Standing in their way, the top-ranked defending national champs, Clemson Tigers, looking to win their fourth ACC title this decade and advance to the playoff for the third straight season. The fans are ready. The players and coaches are ready. We know you're ready too. WPBF 25's exclusive coverage of the ACC title game, Chasing a Championship, starts now. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. We are live in downtown Charlotte, North Carolina at Bank of America Stadium, the usual home of the Carolina Panthers, for this incredible game tonight, the ACC Championship, pitting the Miami Hurricanes versus the number 1 ranked Clemson Tigers. The Hurricanes coming in ranked number 7 tonight. We have a very big show for you tonight. A lot of surprises, a lot of great guests. So sit back, relax, and get ready for the very big game. Or sit on the edge of your seat. Fresh off the set of College Game Day, legendary ESPN analyst Lee Corso will give us his thoughts on tonight's game. He did put on the Clemson Tiger headgear today. Why he says that's not just a bad thing for Miami, and what he says the Hurricanes have to do, what gives them the best chance to pull off the upset. You will also hear from some of the Hurricanes' biggest names, including head coach Mark Richt, formerly of Boca Raton High School, starting quarterback Malik Rozier, and the man who first put the U on the map with their first national title, Coach Howard Schnellenberger. Also part of our coverage tonight, we have Angela Rozier. She is live on the campus of Coral Gables, where the U fans are going crazy tonight because they are back in the big national football picture. It has been 15 years since they had a shot at a conference championship, and as I said, this is their first shot at an ACC championship. Farron Salee is standing by with us at the station. She has a look at some of the local players, Palm Beach County players, on this U team tonight who could help them go on to victory and that ACC title. First, though, let's take a look at how both teams got here in the first place. It has been quite a season. Miami started the season ranked 18th in the AP poll, so they didn't come out of nowhere. But after a blowout win in the opener, the Canes were idle for 3 weeks this season because of Hurricane Irma. And you know what? That may have been a very, very good thing, because from there, the Canes just kept on winning. Their game against Florida State was moved to October, and it was rescheduled in October, and that proved to be a very good thing for Miami. They won on a dramatic touchdown with 6 seconds to play, giving Miami their first win over their in-state rivals since 2009. Their winning streak continued with back-to-back primetime showdowns against top 15 opponents, punctuated with a blowout victory over then third-ranked Notre Dame. Nobody thought Miami could do it, and they did in dramatic fashion. The U moving all the way up to number 2 in the country before their 15-game winning streak came to a crashing halt in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field, their first loss since October of last year. As for the Clemson Tigers, they came into the season as the defending national champs. But after losing starting quarterback Deshaun Watson to the NFL and some other top players on the squad, they were ranked 5th in preseason polls. That wasn't quite right. They rolled through one of the toughest college schedules in the country, knocking off 5 ranked opponents en route to an 11-1 record, and of course, the number 1 ranking they have now. The Tigers' only misstep was in mid-October, surprisingly enough, at Syracuse, where Clemson lost for just the 3rd time in, are you ready? 40 games. 3rd loss in 40. They played the entire second half without quarterback Kelly Bryant, who was out with a concussion. That was the path to Charlotte this year for the Tigers and the Canes. But from Miami, the road to this national prominence dates back to 2015 and a game against these Clemson Tigers. These same Clemson Tigers handed Miami its biggest loss in school history. Just think about it. It was a little over 2 years ago. The 58-0 shellacking led to the immediate firing of Coach Al Golden and the hiring of Mark Richt 3 days after he was let go at Georgia after 15 seasons. Now, I spoke with ESPN College Game Day host Rece Davis about the matchup tonight, what's important, and how one coach turned this program around in less than 2 seasons. Take a listen.
I think confidence, expertise, knowing the lay of the land in the program, and candidly, I think a rejuvenation for Mark himself. I think that he had, he might not appreciate me saying this, but I think he'd gotten a little tired or a little, I don't know if complacent's the right word, or if things had just sort of gotten a little stale at Georgia. And it's been a fresh set of downs for everyone involved, most notably for Mark himself. I think he's back to doing what has made him a great coach, and what made him a coveted commodity when he first became a head coach, and that's coaching quarterbacks and calling plays. It's funny, I made a joke when we were at Miami earlier that Mark Richt is to swag what Pitbull is to opera. But somehow he has been able to sort of reinstill that swagger and that confidence in Miami's head. And that's a product, I think, of his success at Georgia and understanding how to build a winning program and how to instill confidence in players. I think he's done a remarkable job. And he looks very much like, with the exception, I think the goatee's probably a little more gray, and the goatee actually exists now. But he looks very much like the young, energetic, fiery, fire in the belly type of guy that he was at Georgia, and his team is playing that way too.
They take on a team that is the defending national champion. Miami slipped to 7 in the college football playoff rankings. Do you see any way they stay out of the top 4 in the playoff if they win the ACC tonight?
No, I don't see that at all. If they win this game against Clemson tonight, I cannot conceive of a world in which they won't be one of the 4 in the college football playoff, because they would have one little road slip. They would have offset it by beating the #1 team in the country. I just, if they win, they're in. I don't think there's any question about it.
Now, Rece, we also talked about some of the things Miami has to do to actually win this game. They say, first of all, they have to control the line of scrimmage. You hear that all the time in football. He says if Miami can run the ball and force Clemson into passing, the Canes have a chance to pull off the very big upset tonight. Again, ranked number 7 against ranked number 1. Now, this recent resurgence of the Miami Hurricanes has a lot of people all fired up, including fans and students at Miami. Angela Rozier is live on campus at Coral Gables. And Angela, this season, and that return to the national stage, has a lot of Canes players dealing with fame for the first time.
Yeah, you got that right. As a matter of fact, when I talked to the players last week, they told me that, they really love the support they're getting from the community. And judging from the crowd here tonight on campus, they're also getting a lot of support from the students, but they also, they're glad to know they're back on the road to a championship, but they also know they also have to keep focused tonight if they want to win this game.
Rozier, he throws, end zone, Barrios has got it. Touchdown, Miami!
It's good bringing home a W, and when you bring home 10 in a row, well, some things can change.
I think the biggest one was like last night I went to the Big Cheese, and I couldn't even eat because I had so many people walking up to me. I took like 7 photos.
Canes quarterback Malik Rozier is used to the attention on the field.
And runs into the end zone, standing up.
But now Rozier and his teammates are learning how to deal with the attention off the field.
The guy that was worried of me wound up sitting down beside us and had a full-on 20-minute conversation with us about football.
It's definitely everybody's excited about what's going on around campus and even in the neighborhood. I went to the mall yesterday and I see a bunch of UM paraphernalia. Everybody's wearing it now.
Coach Mark Richt understands, and he has some advice for his players.
You've got to learn to be very friendly and polite to everybody and all that, but not let it And, just don't let it get to your head.
Coach admits it comes with the territory, which is why he says he doesn't hang out around town all that much.
Just imagine I'm at the movie one night, I'm bowling the next night, and then I'm at the Miami Heat game. It's just, they're like, what are you doing, Coach? You getting ready for the game or not? So I stay home and watch film is what I do.
See, they got to keep focused tonight. I'm no expert, Tom, but I'll tell you one thing. I've been doing my homework. The Canes defensive backs, they're going to have to bring their A game tonight because Clemson's quarterback, Kelly Bryant, only 6 interceptions this season. So the Canes are going to have to take advantage of any opportunity they get to win this game. Todd?
All right, we'll talk more about the turnover chain coming up. Let me tell you, I was just on the field with the Canes players as they warmed up. They look loose tonight. This game is not too big for them. Now, coming up, the Canes are loaded with players from Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast, and we got a chance to sit down with former Oxbridge Academy star Travis Homer's mom and talk about her son's rise to stardom and the superstition that she hopes will lead the Hurricanes to victory tonight. Plus, Miami not the only South Florida team chasing a championship. We're going to take you to Boca Raton, where FAU played their first Conference USA title game in history, and boy, did it turn out well.
Mesa RV's huge inventory and everyday low prices saves you money. A new Thor Aria diesel pusher is discounted over $89,000. Now it's just $179,998. Everyday low prices at La Mesa RV in Port St. Lucie.
Breaking news doesn't happen in the studio. It happens where you live.
We know your community best because we don't stay behind a desk. We bring you live, local, late-breaking news first, stories impacting you now, and national stories with a Florida connection.
We keep you safe by warning you first with forecasts certified as the area's most accurate.
Watch South Florida's most trusted team, WPBF 25 News at 5, 6, and 11.
Thanks for the ride along, Captain. I've never been in one of these before, even though Geico has been... Oh, here we go. Here we go.
You got cut off there. What were you saying?
Oh, no.
Maybe the Geico's been proudly serving the military for over 75 years? Is that what you wanted to say?
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, you seem a lot chattier on TV.
Geico, proudly serving the military for over 75 years.
You okay back there, buddy?
Very first thing I heard was stuff starting to fly.
You're just there, kind of just waiting out the storm. You feel kind of helpless, you know.
The most terrifying aspect was waiting.
Obviously, I'm concerned about losing the house, losing the family. After that, you start thinking about what's going to happen when you return to work.
Because this storm covered the whole state, it stretches us. But we have a responsibility that we're not going to go home until we get power on to each customer.
We've had thousands and thousands of people come into the service territory in order to make this work.
Within every mile, I see a truck. They care about the community, and they care about the people they provide power for.
Everybody was like cheering. Oh, to see the heavy equipment going down the road, down Main Highway. It was awesome.
Even when our power is out, we still come to work 16 hours, go home to a hot house, take a cold shower, and do it again the next day. That's how committed we are to our customers.
It's the I-95 Holiday RV Show. Over 250 discounted new and used RVs. A new Heartland Gateway discounted over $31,000 to just $303 per month. The I-95 Holiday RV Show going on now at La Mesa RV in Port St. Lucie.
Welcome back to Chasing a Championship. The FAU also chasing a championship today in Boca Raton, hosting the Conference USA title game for the first time in school history. And Lane Kiffin's Owls came out firing and walked away with an emphatic victory. They took on the North Texas Mean Green. They got all over them early and never let go. They were up 27-zip at the half. They would go on to clinch the conference title 41-17. Now they head to their first bowl game in a decade. Could have an outside chance of breaking into the top 25. Congratulations, FAU. Meanwhile, back to the Hurricanes. There are 10 players on the Canes squad from Palm Beach County or the Treasure Coast. And our Farron Salih back in the studio got to talk with running back Travis Homer's mom before she made her way here to Charlotte. Farron.
Yeah, that's right, Todd. She says she couldn't be more proud of her son, an Oxbridge Academy graduate who appears destined for greatness.
Homer in the clear.
With more than 860 rushing yards on the season,
Homer breaks another tackle. Homer
and 7 scoring TDs. This sophomore is a fan favorite.
Homer has space, cuts it back, weaves his way down to the 30-yard line.
That's just one of the plays that earned Travis Homer the award for Best Player of the Game twice. His mom, Carrie, holds tight to all the keepsakes.
He gave me his gloves, his first starting gloves at the University of Miami, so that was really special.
From a young age, she says Travis loved the game. He started playing at age 7, then caught the eye of recruiters at Oxbridge Academy.
At the 30, makes a man miss, stays on his feet at the 25, still going at the 20, breaks a tackle, 10, 5, to the house.
It's nice watching him, you know, work hard on the field, put his work ethics, you know, all together and you know, come out on top.
She says all of her kids wanted to play for the U.
It took them a little while. They'll definitely let Florida State and Florida beat them on offering him.
But Travis signed and hasn't looked back.
Homer, this time he tries the left side, gets a little crease and a burst and a first down.
Judging from his mom's shoes and paraphernalia now,
just beat Clemson, go Canes.
Okay. Clearly, neither has she. Yeah, and now Todd, she says that she takes a church fan and a raincoat to all the games, but she didn't have enough space to pack them last week for Pittsburgh, and she thinks breaking that ritual also broke their winning streak. So she says she packed everything this time. Todd, you'll have to find her. Let me know if she has everything.
All right, hope she packed mittens too, because temperatures are dropping in Charlotte. When we come back, Coach Howard Schnellenberger. We talk with a man who won Miami their first national championship as chasing a championship rolls on.
We're known as the ethical mattress retailer. We stand behind everything we sell. Always have, always will. There's a saying that you can't be all things to all people, but we just want to be everything to you.
In this busy season of holiday gatherings,
be sure to set aside some time for the people you love the most.
Look beyond the shopping bags and remember, the most precious thing we can give is our time.
It's often the most difficult gift to give.
And usually the most cherished one to receive.
At WPBF 25, we want to thank you for sharing your time and trust with us.
Happy holidays from all of us at WPBF 25.
And may your new year be a time of peace and joy.
Is this for me? No.
Happy?
Woo! Let out your inner child at the Lexus December to Remember sales event.
Lease the 2017 RX 350 for $399 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
When you're talking about a national championship and the Miami Hurricanes, you have to start with a man who brought them there first. He learned all kinds of toughness, all kinds of smarts from legendary coach Bear Bryant, and became a legend himself by promising a national title within 5 years. And admits to me, even he didn't know back then if he could back up his boast. The trophies, photos, jerseys, and helmets in Howard Schnellenberger's home are markers in an incredible football life. But if you let him, he'll talk first about the coaches who made him what he is at Kentucky, in the NFL, and especially Bear Bryant at Alabama. And then he'll poke a little fun at himself. Everybody looks happy in the photo except you, Coach.
What are you talking about? That's the happiest you'll ever see me.
And smiling or not, Coach Schnellenberger deserves his own bust in bronze for his signature achievement, bringing Miami Hurricanes football from the ash heap to the mountaintop. How bad was the Miami program when you took over as head coach?
So bad. It was the worst. We had no future. Had nobody gave a shit. Had nobody that knew what they were doing there.
Coach laughs now about taking the job at a small private school where administrators had decided to slink right out of Division I NCAA football and shrink from the spotlight. But Schnellenberger got them to hang on with a promise he had no business making.
We're going to win the national championship in 5 years, by God.
He told that to his bosses, to boosters, there were few to none at first, and to recruits, mostly South Florida high school stars who've been going anywhere but the school that became the U. His assistant coaches fanned out in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. The coach, too, then north up the I-4 corridor, vowing not to let any out-of-state football program cherry-pick the best Sunshine State players. But privately, the head coach had his doubts revealed only to his wife.
I told Beverly, I said, I made a mistake taking this job. She says, well, you took it. I said, well, we got to go with it now, so I won't be doing some crazy-ass thing.
None crazier than the national championship promise, part of Schnellenberger's plan to whip players, the student body, and any other fans into a frenzy. But beneath the huckster side of the coach was a granite-solid belief in making his players the toughest in football, using what he calls the recipe of his old boss, Bear Bryant, with a dash from another boss, Miami Dolphins coach Don Shula.
Made them do it the right way, and if you didn't like it, go take a hike.
And always in the back of his mind, the Bears' words to him.
You've got the recipe. I said, thank you, Coach. I'm going to take that recipe with me.
When the recipe worked in 1983, what did that feel like?
A culmination of validation. It was a thrill. It was a thrill. I mean, a gigantic thrill. It almost knocked me down.
The quarterback corner?
Yeah.
Almost 35 years later, Coach Schnellenberger can point to the jerseys of the legendary Hurricanes quarterbacks on his team. Now he takes just as much pride in a certain fourth-string quarterback from Boca Raton named Mark Richt.
I think he's the best coach possible for that school. To come down here at a time that other than he, I don't know how they would have ever pulled out of their doldrums. How many chances did they have?
And the man who once took the Canes and, as he calls it, climbed the rope with no knots in it to the top, believes with Coach Richt on the sidelines, Miami is back as a football power thanks to a little divine intervention.
They came together and God blessed it and said, marriage made in heaven.
An honor to sit down with a football legend. Our Chasing the Championship coverage wouldn't be complete without a look at the turnover chain. You'll see it, meet the keeper of the chain when we come back.
Must have been some sale, Patty.
Jim just had to have it. We saved hundreds. You?
I had to have this.
Wow.
Love all of this.
It lights up everything.
Let it pro, let it pro, let it pro with a brand new GMC. It's GMC's first ever Denali season to upgrade. Get 15% below MSRP on the full range of 2017 Denali models. That's nearly $12,000 below MSRP on a GMC Yukon XL Denali.
Monica, it is absolute chaos out here. Gale force winds, accumulations up to 8 inches. Don't know if you can even hear me.
What's he doing?
Can we get a shot of this cold front right here? Winter has arrived. Woo!
Progress is an unstoppable force. Brace yourself for the Season of Audi sales event. Audi will cover your first month's lease payment on select models during the Season of Audi sales event.
Now, back to that piece of jewelry that brought the swag back to Hurricane Nation. Angela Rozier live in Coral Gables with a story of the turnover chain. Ange?
That's right. Everybody here knows about the turnover chain, but do they know that it comes in its own case? It also comes with its own song, and it also has its own handler.
And the chain's coming out. And they're trying to get the turnover chain. Charles Perry goes to the jeweler.
Some call the turnover chain the Canes calling card. You know the drill. Take away the ball, and you get to wear the chain. And the man in charge of making sure that chain is in place when called upon, well, the director of player development, Joel Rodriguez.
I had no idea how much of an honor it would be because I had no idea how much it was going to come out or how big a role it would play in our success this year.
Rodriguez says Coach Manny Diaz is the one who actually brings the chain to the game.
And then I get it from him in pregame, and I bring it out to the sidelines, and we find a good place to hide it where it won't get lost or fall into the wrong hands or anything.
I love it. It was actually funny that Travis Homer got to be an offensive guy. He loved it. I loved it. I was on the field, hyped for him, so I mean, it was huge.
Fans love it. Former players love it. Warren Sapp sent this tweet earlier in the season. Rodriguez admits it's probably here to stay.
Literally, I think our fans are to the point now where they are actually celebrating and more excited about turnovers and touchdowns, which is insane, but it gives them a chance to bring their fake chains out and kind of see our guys jump on the sidelines and write their little grease board messages and flop the chain, which is exactly what we want.
But your official name is the keeper of the chain.
I guess, sure.
Hey, what you gonna say? Again, all the folks here know about the turnover chain. They hope to see it again tonight, Todd.
All right, Edge, thank you. Before we go, Lee Corso from College Game Day talks about what the Canes need to do tonight to win the ACC title.
The 2018 Cadillac XT5.
Worship me.
Beauty. Greater than the sum of its parts. Come in for season's best. Current GM lessees get this low mileage lease on this Cadillac XT5 from around $379 per month.
Worship me.
With more devices in your home, you need internet that can keep up. Well, Xfinity checks everyone's needs. AT&T doesn't. Xfinity is America's best internet provider and delivers gig speeds to the most homes. And you can get Xfinity Mobile included with your internet, so all you pay for is data. Xfinity has it all. AT&T, not even close. Get started with Xfinity TV and internet for only $25 each a month for 12 months when you bundle both. Now with even faster internet speed. Plus, you can add a free speed upgrade for a year. Go online, call, or visit us today.
Merry Christmas.
Why are there so many miles on it?
What?
For great offers, visit Jaguar Fort Lauderdale.
It's a big day for South Florida and Miami, and this is a tremendous game for the whole area. Remember one thing, Miami has got to win this ball game to be called back. The key matchup of the game will be the Miami offensive line against the Clemson front four. Clemson's front four, 3 of the 4 were first-team All-ACC. Holy mackerel. And they got a tremendous challenge, the Miami offensive line. But that's the reason. Clemson is one of the best teams in the nation at sacking the quarterback. And therefore, Miami's pass protection has got to be perfect. You know, this game is funny because all the Clemson people are asking me, please don't pick us, you jinx us. And all the Miami people say, please don't pick us, you're jinxes. So I won't pick you. Goodbye.
ABC's coverage of
WPBF 25 News, South Florida's most watched news at 5 o'clock. Thank you for trusting Tiffany Kenny, Felicia Rodriguez, and Mike Lyons for live, local, late-breaking news and weather from your community. WPBF 25 News, number 1 at 5.
The most magical time of the season to me is Toyotathon, with great deals on Corolla, RAV4, even the all-new Camry. For you and your family.
Hi!
So, how can I help?
Right now, during Toyotathon, get 0% APR for 60 months plus $500 holiday bonus cash on a new reinvented 2018 Toyota Camry. That's 0% APR.
Here's your key.
So how does...
Magic.
Toyota, let's go places.
Very first thing I heard was stuff starting to fly.
You're just there, kind of just waiting out the storm. You feel kind of helpless, you know?
The most terrifying aspect was waiting.
Obviously, I'm concerned about losing the house, losing the family. After that, you start thinking about what's going to happen when you return to work.
Because this storm covered the whole state, it stretches us. But we have a responsibility, but we're not going to go home until we get power on to each customer.
We've had thousands and thousands of people come into the service territory in order to make this work.
Within every mile, I see a truck. They care about the community. and they care about the people they provide power for.
Everybody was like cheering. Oh, to see the heavy equipment going down the road, down Main Highway. It was awesome.
Even when our power is out, we still come to work 16 hours, go home to a hot house, take a cold shower, and do it again the next day. That's how committed we are to our customers.